episode and everything else. Basically, a collaboration of sorts. Next time, we do have a plan of what we're going to do, just in case. I'm going to be recording as well as Rozu. That way, we have a backup just in case.
That is a good idea.
Oh, goodness gravy.
I'm really bad at, taking notes. I usually do just rely on my own memory for things.
Again, that's okay if it's necessary. So.
That's a good idea.
Anywho, let's get this party started, shall we? Just tell me when you start recording. Okay. Okay. So, first thing, I wanted to apologize to everyone who is either watching on Twitch or YouTube channel. This is going to be a 15 to 20 minute episode because unfortunately we lost the entire story, audio on our side, every other character, because Rozu is usually the one who's recording, but unfortunately for us, we only got her voice and no one else's. There was nothing at all. So this is going to be a 15 to 20 minute commentary on the episode with Rozu and Dragon, aka Silence.
Hello.
But this next time we will be taking precautions. I will be recording as well as Rozu. So that way hopefully this won't happen again. Again, it is no one's fault. Could be just the fact that the recording decided to be just, a little bit silly. So what happened, we began the entire session on a battle. And I believe so.
I think.
Yeah, we started at the very beginning of the turn order, didn't we? Yeah, we started at the very beginning of the turn order. They were up against a horde of undead. I'm talking many skeletons and a few liches as well. Yeah. Well, what happened was, what was? Hold on, let me. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was pretty. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But to start out with,
everyone else is still fine.
Yeah. Okay. So to explain what happened at the very beginning of the session, they were struggling to stay alive. Pretty much every single. Fortunately, they were dealing with at least 7 liches and over at least, well, from what I was keeping from them, over 200 skeletons.
Holy heck.
Yes, at least.
That's a lot.
Actually, there were 20 of those. And 2 bone dragons. Yeah, so you're very fortunate of what happened.
Yeah.
Very, very fortunate. I was looking to inflict some real pain.
I had 10 hit points left. I would have died.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened was one of the one of the skeletons got really, really close to Silence. Wait, there was 2 of them that got really close to Silence. Yeah, they pinned her into a corner and basically were focusing all their attacks on her because one of the liches was actually ordering these skeletons to focus on the magic casters, which is a very sound strategy for. Well, of course, take out the magic caster, go for the melee next.
Huh.
It's the most, take care of the range, then get the ranged people to take care of the melee. It's very simplistic. It's a very sound strategy. Yes, but, however, the Lich was not planning for silence here. She summoned a fire elemental.
My son. We named him
Yeah.
Rune.
What did you name the little fire elemental again?
I named him Rune after a friend's
Yeah,
D&D
Rune.
character.
Rune, it's this adorable little fricker that looks like that. Since she's recording, I decided to use a temporary thing of what I want it to look like, but it looks significantly different. Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
but I'm drawing what I want him to actually look like as he's passive, because yes, I am drawing a physical copy of what I want Rune to look like.
Very cool. My son. Yeah.
Well, I did draw Nedra once, but actually, do you remember? Do you know the picture of rations, right? That's a drawing I drew. It took me 3 years to draw to paint that. Actually, yes, I did. It took 3 years. It took 3 years. Okay, it took 3 years of my life to draw that thing. It took me at least 200 times to perfect it. I had to take reference after reference after reference. Anyway, I'm getting off of subject. Dragon, I will send you a picture of like what rations actually looks like. She is just, let's just say, well, yeah, but she's still as cute. You can't, I described her as the cutest little thing ever to exist on this planet.
Fun.
Okay, so I'm going to send you this, Dragon, just to give you a reference of what she looks like.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
I know. I came up with the idea when I was playing Skyrim like for a while, and like I was like, I've never seen a saber cat cub, so I want to draw one. And I started drawing a male, but then I drew the eyelashes and the flower and the little ladybug on the nose, and I was just like so satisfied with it. Yeah, again, sorry. I have a habit of doing this. Where was I? Yes, okay, so the Lich was not calculating for this fire elemental. What he attempted to do was to use thaumaturgy in order to try. He used it at a higher level in order to try to, blow out the flames. Because in this world, thaumaturgy can work like that. But, however,
oh wow.
Yeah, again, this world is significantly different, so things work differently. Yeah. But what happened was I had to roll 1d100 in order to see what happened. In my campaign, the higher the number, if it's above 50, it benefits the players. If it's below 50, it benefits the enemies of this world. I work strangely, I know. But he rolled a 79, which is very beneficial to the players. So I did a randomization. I have a list of randomized effects for specifically fire elementals. I have books upon books of homebrew stuff for this, and I'm fixing to make my 38th book.
Oh wow, that is a lot of books.
Yeah. I work very hard on them. These are my love children.
Definitely tell them. Well, I'm in one, but it's really good.
But anyway, what happened was I had a randomized effect, and what happened was instead of actually blowing out the fire elemental, Unfortunately, the fire elemental got bigger. It grew to huge size, and it enveloped the lich itself. It grappled, and it successfully grappled on, what was it? What was that grapple? Oh yeah, it was a 27. Not even a nat 20, but it was a 27 on the roll. And of course, the lich would have to check against it, but strength is not a lich's first priority. So it only got like it was an 11 exactly. So there was no way that was happening.
My son! I'm so proud.
She calls the fire elemental her son.
Of course I do. He's lovely.
Exactly. Yeah, which makes things significantly harder for the lich. And actually, Rozu will testify to this. The lich was actually concentrating on 2 different spells. Liches in this world are considerably different. They can concentrate up to 3 different spells.
Damn.
Yes, they did not know they were. This one was concentrating on what I personally like to call a mass illusion spell. Basically, he was creating the multiple versions of the liches. They were actually multiple versions of him. And they started disappearing. And yes, he got a natural 1 on his roll, which, well, that was a epic fail on his part. Yeah, first huge change, and that changed the whole face of the battlefield. And then they focused all their attacks on the undead in front of them, which I will give where credit is due. Each one of these players pulled their weight.
I'm gonna try monkey.
They focused on everything. And then, yeah. But the lich actually used a 9th tier spell called Power Kill. Now, he used it on Hamsky, who unfortunately for everyone else had only 98 health, which means Power Word Kill instantly killed Hamsky.
Yeah.
But fortunately, yeah, he would probably been pissed beyond reason. He would probably never forgiven you for that.
Yeah.
He would have hunted. Anywho, but like, oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay, so here's where we were talking about previously about we can never use that particular spell on him again because he is in fact a druid who shapeshifts into other things. Polymorph cannot work on those kind of people with that kind of class. Yes.
I don't think it would. Yeah.
No. It will work. It's just if it's part of your class, it won't work on you.
We still got like 3 viable people anyways. I'm not. You will not want to be the giant monkey. I can turn you back.
Heal.
Wait, I just realized since we leveled up, I can turn someone into a T-Rex now. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Again, it's not your fault.
Yeah, we let out like a hearty battle cry.
Pretty much.
I don't think we did, but I feel like we could have.
Yeah, okay, so what happened next was actually Dragon's precious little boy actually killed the Lich.
I'm so proud of him.
But it was actually Dragon's connection with the rest of the group that helped in that notion. Because in this campaign, I developed a special homebrew that I'm actually going to be using in a future homebrew soon. Yes. It basically, it's pretty much My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. The more connected you are with your allies, you can actually use certain abilities according to how connected you are with that person. Because of Dragon's compassion with Rozu, Rozu's compassion with Silence, Silence was able to use Rozu's spell one time, and it was a holy spell. Which she pretty much used on the Lich, which it was beyond overkill.
It was really cool,
and which actually unlocked a prerequisite for her fire elemental, which transformed it into a holy fire elemental. Yeah, I did not plan this at all, but I had everything prepped just in case. I literally had everything the fire elemental could turn into if you used a spell on it. I'm not kidding. If it had a necrotic effect, it would turn darker. If it was a water effect, it would have turned into something akin to like a stone. It was very, very, very convoluted, very complicated, but I had everything prepped just in case, and I was so happy that it came this time. I wasn't planning on it, but I'm so happy it did. Yes. Yes, it was total overkill. And then the majority of the undead army basically vanished, because those were also conjurations of the Lich, because of Dragon's little boy.
My little son.
But what happened next was the army of skeletons decided to launch a couple of longbow volleys. Basically, they were trying to focus on, hey, let's still follow the orders, even though he's dead. We need to take out these spellcasters, which most of them did hit. It's unfortunate that one of the skeletons got a natural 1, which means I take over when it comes to a natural 1. I roll a 1d100, and then a random event that is in one of my books takes place. I have 3 books with random events depending on a natural 1.
Holy shit.
Yes. And it depends on ranged attack, spell, melee attack. All books are each their own. I've had an insane amount of preparation. Yeah, no, you didn't. Because what happened was I rolled, I think it was, oh man, let me double check. What was it? Yeah, it was, no, I gotta see you. What was the 1d100 that I rolled? What happened? Hey, there's the Lich.
Well, what am I gonna do? Die? Yeah.
What was it? Where was it? Ah, here it was. I rolled a 99 on a 1d100. So that is insanely good for the friendlies. And when I looked through my book for a ranged attack, what it read exactly was it flies off and it hits something in the vicinity. It hits someone in the vicinity. Then what I did was I calculated how much range it would hit. Then I rolled another 1d100 to see like how many people were in that thing. Then put numbers to them so that way I could see who it was that hit. It was a natural 1 on a 1d100. I put this on the number one part of the list because I didn't want this to happen. I wanted to give this battle a fighting chance. But a natural one said one word, Bailiff. That was it. It hit Bailiff, who was sleeping inside of the church. That's why the other people who were investigating the Death Church had a horrible vibe, but they didn't investigate it. So unfortunately, I couldn't tell them shit.
Yeah, I could go to the church. It was silent.
Yeah.
Yes. Rozu and Silence didn't see this at first. It was it was actually Fitz and his character, who was a giant ape at the time, who saw it first. They just see the man in black armor, Bailiff, come out of the church with an arrow in his right pauldron, pissed beyond reason, screaming who did it. And they these little motherfuckers, the skeleton and the giant ape, point at each other. Yes, it was persuasion. What did Fitz get on it? Oh shit! It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, vermilion, a lot of vermilions. I'm trying to find it, but I see Fritz's rolls. Oh right, I remember what it was. It was the 16. It was the 16. Remember, he couldn't access his
Oh, yeah.
character sheet at the moment. He was having trouble with the character sheet at the moment.
You had to use the apes.
Exactly. For persuasion. That was right. I completely forgot about that. And I had to roll something for the skeleton. Fortunately, he only got a 2, so that was a natural 0. So,
Yeah.
basically,
Okay,
Bailiff.
moment.
Of course.
You're echoing.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Is it any better?
Yeah, I can hear the echo too.
Is this okay? Okay. Sorry, I'm having.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically, Bailiff blamed the undead. So he basically didn't recognize Fitz because he's never met Fitz. He basically told the giant ape to bugger off before he changed his mind. Yeah,
Not
they
today.
booked it out of there. They were running, and unfortunately, the royal who entrapped them into the really fat guy, basically entrapped them because he lost a kneading contest. So basically, what happened was the guy attempted to basically persuade Bailiff in order to basically persuade him with money in order to attack these individuals because he did not want them to live. That is one thing he did not want to happen. But unfortunately, yeah, that was his own fault. I had to make a persuasion roll. He got a 6.
Ooh.
So things slipped from his mouth that he wasn't supposed to say, and his servants, who basically carry him around because he's so freaking fat, abandoned their post because he teleports over to him and basically slaps him so hard that the barrier ends. And boy, was that slap loud. Whew. Well, yeah, but I'm willing to bet even the slain Theocracy King in his palace could have heard that. Like, the fuck was that? Did you just hear that? Wait, it was run by the church, so the priests would have heard that in their church. It's not run by a king. Those old guys would have been like, "Did you hear that?" Oh yeah, that was funny. She put him. You said it was like a giant hamster ball, right? She put him in a giant fucking hamster ball-like spell, which I personally homebrewed for her, and she said she wanted to use it on Ball. Unfortunately, he's no longer part of this campaign, but it was just brilliant on her part. And Silence, poor Silence, was trying to get her beloved son to follow her so that he wouldn't get killed by the man in black armor. But before they left, they saw they left take one slice to one of the grave titans and it just gets cut in half and dies. This is what they're up against. This is the evil that they're up against. This is oh, he is my. I will fully take credit for my son.
We just gotta get a really big sword, guys.
Yeah, this is my son.
True. Oh
yeah, he does not work in that world. Unfortunately, he cannot work unless it's a medieval style world or something equivalent. It just doesn't work in the DBC universe. I just can't see it working.
Don't worry, it's just the cosplay, guys.
I just prefer to keep him in his own style, I don't like changing it. Exactly. If he spreads to different universes, we would be flabberducked. Anyway, Silence gained herself a little pet in the form of a put out fire elemental, which is basically it's just stone until she activates it again. What I did not tell her, unfortunately, I should have last thing, is that this is no ordinary elemental. It's not even an elemental. What she summoned was a thrall, which, compared to an elemental, elementals disappear over time. Thralls stay permanently.
My son.
What she can do with hers is she can feed it different crystals, and it will actually activate different effects.
We don't know that, but boy, do I have 2 other crystals. And
yeah, her character doesn't know that, which I will hope to dear Lord you will not try to metagame this.
I know. I've mainly been thinking about just making more of them, just having 3 little guys follow me around.
That would be so freaking cute. Oh my gosh. Just have them all nuzzling her neck all at once.
The squad. We roll in. Yes, okay. So, I can just pull, or go with Rune, then I can just pull from my other D&D campaign that I'm in.
This is Rune. This is
Alcus.
And this is Ezio Auditore di Frenzy.
Oh. Yeah.
This is Smitty Warber Jagerman Jensen. He's number 1. Don't mess with Steve.
Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, the type of crystals I have was actually perfect if I want to name them after the other party. That's cool.
Actually, I have another elemental in the works that you can actually use its name if you want to. I call it Kindle. Kyndll. Kindle.
Ooh.
It's a name I personally use for a Warforged character I once ran. It's like kindling for fire, but I call it Kyndll. Kindle.
That's cute. But if it's a fire elemental, does that mean Rune's gonna get a friend?
I don't know. I don't know how you're going to cast it, but I have a whole book of conditional things right here. Do you hear this? Do you hear this?
Yes.
That's the book. It has 200 pages of different spells that you could possibly use against your elementals.
Holy shit.
That I've written down.
My specialty? Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, forgot the name. Yes, it's controlling the battlefield, and I feel like I can do that if I have 3 of them. My children.
Oh yeah, I gotta give you kudos where it's due. Like your elemental pulled out all the stops. I'm not kidding. To everyone who is listening into this guy, this elemental was bad ass. He did not roll anything below a 16 once.
My son, so proud of him. Yeah.
Anyway, they got back to and basically warned, hey, this is happening. You got to warn the guard about the man in black armor and the royal. Of course, but unfortunately for the group, they're still inhuman. So they managed to get the one person who is completely racist against those types of beings, who did not believe a word they said.
It's kind of not epic.
Yeah, even Craven, who came in afterwards to vouch for what he saw, the man still didn't believe you because he's just an ordinary farmer. What kind of validity would he have against a noble? That is, yes. No. The reasoning he did it was, you're not a noble of this country. You're not from here. That's why he didn't care. You're not from here. That was his reasoning. Until...
Yeah. What if we start our own country? Uh-oh. Do you have experience with that? Or we can pay someone to run it for us. Why would we have to run
I have 2 books just in case.
See? He's already prepared. It can be small. No, it can be a dictatorship, but like we're good dictators. Oh no. But like, yeah, not like in a bad way. No, like the thing is, it can be like a nice place for Inhumans because like everyone's racist as hell, and we can just be like, we can just vibe. Yeah, but like there'll be no racism. It's a crime.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We can try our best.
Anyway, yes.
Already won.
Hold on, let me double check. What was the name? City-State Alliance, I believe it was. That's which is a Beastman place. And there's also Beastman Kingdoms. That's another place I actually keep on forgetting.
Well, if they're all Inhumans, why don't we just go become nobles and just vibe? We do our best.
Just vibe.
Yeah, we got the good vibes here in the squad. Yeah.
Oh no, the cold is over with. This is just allergies.
Ooh.
Allergies are fucking hell. Anyway, back to the story. Well, what saved them in the end from getting arrested was none other than the king himself, who was actually in Irantel. Well, the problem is that I basically, during the whole battle, which is why I was struggling to keep up, I was making secret rolls for everyone else of the NPCs. And what happened was his daughter, which your characters do not know, his daughter was actually in the town herself. I mean, the reasoning behind it. She wanted to take her dad to Irantel for one simple reason. His birthday is literally 2 weeks from now, and she wanted to get a secret present for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it's out of care.
She's not evil. She's a yandere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do love him. It's just like, oh, get away from me, please. I don't want to die. But anyway, It's just basically she came to the city because she heard that there was a reliable, very reliable place in Irantel where she could buy a secret gift without her dad's knowledge. So that's why she went on a shopping spree to disguise it in order for her to buy the actual present. Yes, it did really. But the thing was, the reason why they were at the Adventurers Guild was the king actually wanted to meet the Adventurers Guild master. He's never actually met the guy, but he's great. Thank you. Sorry. I like how she knows that. I like how she knows that this person's a girl, but she can't pin down a Hamsky that's a girl. I know it. It sounds like a guy. It behaves like a little bit like a male, but it's a female. Surprisingly, I did not know this. I honestly could not have pinned it down for the life of me. But when I read it in the book, it said Hamsky, female. I was like, what? That would be cute.
Can't wait to get true polymorph and just vibe check everything. Okay.
Anywho, what? No.
Worm.
Well, the thing is, like, it's not make up. It's random selection on an actual list. I'm not making this stuff as I go. I write this down. You don't understand. I have an entire bookshelf of homebrew. Again, I prefer the physical book. I prefer feeling the weight. I don't like buying virtual copies of books. I like feeling the weight and the feel of paper in my hand. I'm very old-fashioned like that. Oh, I would love to show them. Just, these are my babies, and I don't like people touching them.
You can laminate them, maybe.
Anyway, the guy,
Oh.
yeah, constantly making changes, making things, tweaking a little bit here and there, stuff like that. Exactly. I'm constantly changing things.
You had like those little like sheets you put in, like just use insert papers into.
See, I don't like that. I really don't. That's why.
I was talking about laminate.
The way I do it, I just write very, very light. That way I can just erase it easily and have no evidence of it ever existing.
The dedication.
Exactly. I'm a dedicated homebrew artist. I love doing things like this. I love D&D with a passion.
You
Anyway,
should try publishing some of it. I feel like people would definitely be interested.
I would love to, but unfortunately I tried to with my character, but Wizards they did not approve of his character. Oh, I mean, it's like they said he was way too overpowered. I'm like, that's why I created him. To be, once he's overcome, players would feel euphoria. Like, he is made to make Tiamat, not the aspect of Tiamat, but Tiamat, look like a kitten.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you're being last but not least, people, like, they are transported to the royal capital by the king himself because of what happened. He actually went so far as to not only believe the farmer, but he went and got Gazif Stronov to inspect the truth of the matter. Gazif did not find any man in black armor, but he did find the noble and slate. Right. My mistake. That was my bad. But that's why I have you guys to attest to my thing. That way I'm not bullshitting. That way they can back me up or correct me if needed. I don't have perfect notes. Yes, and on top of that, the slaves of the noble also attested to the situation. Which, what next happened, Silence and Rozu got a real kick out of. The king owned the noble, took away his title, his land, his money, and gave the titles to the party. And the king actually agreed.
And then we became nobles.
Yes, the king actually agreed to this. And yes. And now your crest will actually mean something because the king, when the king actually got several of his servants. If you needed anything during the ride over to the royal capital, the king had his servants ask you questions of what you needed, and they would go fetch it for you. But what was even better was the king actually did something a little bit in secret, what you didn't realize. He actually got one of his servants to do a little bit for you that I cannot tell you. Exactly. Unfortunately, no, it's very beneficial to the party. It's just, unfortunately, the next session won't be for a little bit because I'm not only having issues with not only having like scheduling issues, but I'm also having to write 2 level ups for these guys' characters. So that's going to take a bit. It was worth. Oh crap! How much was it?
A lot of XP.
Oh yeah, it was butt ton of its thing was literally 33,000 XP. Yes, like the 600 was actually how many skeletons that they managed to kill themselves. Unfortunately, I could not. Yes, I had significantly more. I was wanting to put some hurt. What exactly? I'm rarely in the mood for combat situations. I'm more of a storyteller, game master. I am a passionate storyteller, game master. Usually, battles don't plan out that you plan out. That's why most combats don't actually end the way they're supposed to, because I'm a storyteller, not a combatter. But when I'm in the mood, I want to put in some hurt.
You hurt me, and that was it, I think.
No, I also put some decent amount of pain against Vermilion, Synth, and the others, and I managed to kill Hamski, but she survived.
Yeah, she's fine. She got better. I feel like you can just ask for one. I feel like he's not going to stop you.
Yeah, which they are.
Hey, we killed a bunch of undead, please. And the money. True.
Where that is located.
What if we have a little house? What if we have a little cabin and it becomes like a nice little slice of life podcast where we all just sit at our little cabin and farm apples.
Oh boy.
And fish. Yes.
It's like Harvest Moon.
Yeah, we have a little. Yeah.
Oh man, that's such a fantastic. The only one better, in my opinion, is either Stardew Valley or Rune Factory.
I've only ever played Stardew Valley.
I love Rune Factory. It's my Rune Factory.
Stardew's nice and simple. It's fun.
Yeah. Again, but anyway, everyone in this session pulled their weight and more. FBI, open up. I hope she's okay. Yeah, that's yes. Which they were. Oh yeah. Basically, they're going to be the personal guests of the king himself. Which, in that case, nobody will probably dare mistreat you in front of him or any of his allies. I don't know.